The Dallas Cowboys just added exactly what scared the NFL, so we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Dallas Cowboys news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is the Dallas Cowboys are very close to signing an ex-Buccaneers playmaker and veteran RB, which the NFL fear. The Dallas Cowboys could have a chance at landing a former Tampa Bay Buccaneers playmaker. As suggested by Brian Martin of SB Nation's Blogging the Boys, the Cowboys should consider signing former Buccaneers tight end Cameron Britt. Dallas is currently looking for a new starting tight end following the offseason departure of Dalton Schultz. While second-year tight end Jake Ferguson and second-round draft pick Luke Schoonmaker offer promise as potential starters, Martin argues that Dallas needs a true veteran presence. Due to the lack of proven experience, though, adding a veteran presence to the mix might not be a bad idea, writes Martin. The former Tampa Bay Buccaneers TE Cameron Britt could be on the Dallas shortlist. He is a solid player who has proven he is more than capable of being reliable as both a blocker in the running game and as a receiving threat in the passing game. If the youth movement at TE raises any concern at any point throughout training camp or preseason, Britt is someone the Cowboys should absolutely have on standby. The 32-year-old tight end spent all 9 years of his career with the Buccaneers before he was released this offseason. Not only does Britt have a Super Bowl ring from his role on the 2020 squad, he once turned in a 57-reception, 660-yard, 8-touchdown season during the 2016 campaign. While Britt is certainly not the receiving tight end that he was back then, he has played a key role in an offense for the past 8 seasons. Even while playing through head injuries last season, Britt still managed to play 47% of the offensive snaps in the games he appeared in. Since 2015, Britt has played in at least 36% of the offensive snaps. The Cowboys certainly aren't lacking in talent at the tight end position. Ferguson had a catch rate of 86.4% while seeing valuable playing time alongside Schultz. He started 8 games. While Schoonmaker was a third-team All-Big Ten selection at Michigan while posting 35 receptions, second on the team, for 418 receiving yards, third on the team. Fellow second-year tight end Peyton Hendershot is also on the roster, while Sean McKeon is considered the veteran of the group. The problem is, Ferguson, Hendershot, and Schoonmaker are all over 24 years old. Meanwhile, McKeon is 25 years old and has just 6 catches to his name. In other words, the group is extremely young and inexperienced. As things stand right now, the Cowboys are going younger and cheaper at tight end heading into 2023, writes Martin. Jake Ferguson and Luke Schoonmaker are expected to battle it out as the replacement to former starter Dalton Schultz, with Peyton Hendershot and possibly Sean McKeon rounding out the depth at the position. By comparison, Britt has 273 career catches for 2,857 yards and 33 touchdowns. Britt ranks 11th in Buccaneers franchise history in receptions and 3rd in touchdown catches. For perspective, Britt racked up 20 touchdowns between 2016 and 2018, ranking 2nd behind the Kansas City Chiefs' Travis Kelce in that span. Considering the Cowboys already have a young blocking tight end in Hendershot, Dallas may see that McKeon is expendable and could bring in a more well-rounded threat in Britt. Another player is also in the talks. During McCarthy's tenure in Green Bay, the Packers spent a second-round pick on Randall Cobb, whom they used out of the backfield often early in his career. Fast forward to 2015, and McCarthy's Packers used a third-round pick on Ty Montgomery, who enjoyed his best seasons in the league, doubling as a running back and receiver in McCarthy's offense. Patterson has an eerily similar skill set to Cobb and Montgomery. One of the best kick returners of all time, Patterson made a seamless transition to a wide receiver running back hybrid with the Falcons. In 2021, he rushed for 618 yards and 6 touchdowns on 4.0 yards per carry, and caught 52 passes for 525 yards and 5 scores. Patterson took on a lesser role in 2022, but still compiled 817 yards from scrimmage and 8 touchdowns on 4.8 yards per carry. At 6'2" and 218 pounds, Patterson profiles as a like-for-like Elliott replacement in short yardage situations, and he just so happens to be out of favor in Atlanta's backfield that features number 8 overall pick Bijan Robinson and 2022 fifth-round pick Tyler Allgeier, who rushed for 1,035 yards on 4.8 YPC as a rookie. The Falcons currently have $9.973 million in cap space, per over the cap. Cutting or trading Patterson would save $4.25 million. assuming Atlanta would shop him first before outright releasing him, if they're even mulling his future. Dallas could bide its time and end up with a Swiss Army knife for pennies on the dollar. On top of being just what the Cowboys need behind the speedy Pollard, Patterson is exactly the profile of R.B. McCarthy has fancied throughout his coaching career. The second story is Cowboys' analytics department grows with addition of William Britt from Steelers. The era that many are calling hot nerd summer continues to rage on in Dallas with the news that the Cowboys have made yet another hire for their rapidly expanding analytics department. On Tuesday, it was announced that William Britt has joined the team as a strategic football analyst. Britt comes over from the Steelers, where he spent the past 2 seasons as a data analyst. He was one of just 2 analytics staffers for Pittsburgh during that time, working for an organization that has been largely resistant to embracing the advent of football analytics between longtime head coach Mike Tomlin and longtime general manager Kevin Colbert, who retired following the 2022 NFL Draft. The Steelers represented Britt's first NFL job, joining the team straight out of Center College in Danville, Kentucky. There, he earned dual degrees in data science and computer science while also playing both basketball and football. Britt conducted numerous sports analytics studies during his time at Center, including the creation of an improved data-based power ranking system for the Kentucky High School Athletics Association and a study to analyze the most effective lineups for the Kentucky Wildcats basketball team. Perhaps the most fun fact for Cowboys fans about Britt's college days is the fact that one of his professors, with whom he collaborated on many of his analytics projects, is named Jeff Heath. Sadly, this is not the same person who spent 7 memorable seasons playing safety for the Cowboys, but it still stands as some interesting foreshadowing for Britt, who is now with America's team. Britt is an up-and-comer in the football analytics community, and his addition represents a savvy move for a budding analytics department with the Cowboys. The past 2 months have seen tremendous growth in this area, first with the appointment of John Park to run the TAMS analytics department, and then the hiring of rising star Sarah Malapal. It wasn't that long ago that the Cowboys posted a job listing for the very position Britt has just filled, which itself was another sign of how the organization is making a full-throated embrace of analytics, heading into Mike McCarthy's 4th season as the head coach. Britt now marks the 3rd analytics staffer in the Cowboys front office, and they have 3 different coaches on staff as well, who are at least partially involved in football analytics. For context, just half of the league had at least 3 full-time analytics staffers for the 2022 season, and only 9 teams had more than 3 on staff. Britt's addition already gives the Cowboys one of the larger analytics staffs in the NFL, and there is still time for the team to add more personnel before the season gets underway. The times are certainly a change-in for a Cowboys team that has long been considered one of the less analytically inclined teams in the NFL. The third story is Cowboys' red zone offense secret is in jeopardy entering 2023 NFL season. When the Dallas Cowboys got inside their opponent's 20-yard line last season, alarms went off for defensive coordinators. With Dak Prescott throwing the football and Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard carrying the rock, a touchdown was almost guaranteed. Kellen Moore's offense had its share of issues, but converting trips to the red zone into 6 points was almost a guaranteed certainty. In fact, they led the entire NFL in red zone touchdown scoring percentage. The Cowboys were exceptionally good at running the football inside the 20, thanks to their extreme versatility. According to Sports Info Solutions, the Cowboys led the NFL in rushing success rate in both gap scheme runs and zone scheme runs. Kellen Moore, now the OC for the Los Angeles Chargers, also made sure to use personnel groupings with 3 and even 4 tight ends to catch NFL defenses by surprise. In many ways, the Cowboys' offense is the biggest question mark the team faces in 2023. With Mike McCarthy calling the plays on game day, things will look different even if the official position of the team is that the change will be very limited. But there's one particular area that stands out that could jeopardize the offense's success inside the 20-yard line, and that's the look of the Cowboys' running game. As noted above, Moore's attack led the league when using gap scheme runs and zone scheme runs. In other words, a big part of what made Moore's attack special inside the 20 is that it featured extreme levels of diversity. Defenses didn't really know what was coming. With McCarthy and offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer calling the shots, that is expected to change. Both coaches have suggested the Cowboys will be specializing in running an outside zone scheme over anything else. Specializing in just one type of run scheme will be a departure from what the offense did last year. While Moore preferred the large, Cheesecake Factory-esque menu of plays, the 2023 Cowboys will likely use fewer concepts but will run them better. While that could diminish the team's unpredictability in the red zone, it's a trade-off that could work out in their favor in the big picture. After all, Moore's rushing attack wasn't nearly as efficient outside of the 20. Ultimately, McCarthy and company will do things their way, even if the base of the offense is built on Moore's previous work. A key to turning this into a positive transition will be all about the Cowboys remaining a menace near the end zone.